US President Donald Trump is rolling out a series of headline-grabbing economic ideas as he battles growing concern over the cost of living crisis, an issue that analysts say could hurt Republicans in the 2026 midterms. From $2,000 tariff-funded dividends to 50-year home loans, proposals are raising eyebrows in Washington and beyond. The cost of living is back at the center of the U.S. political discourse after Democrats secured major victories in New Jersey, New York, and Virginia last week. Wins powered by voter anger over rising prices of essentials like food, fuel, and housing. In fact, the president, now under pressure from within his own party, has flatly rejected suggestions that affordability is becoming a political liability. In a tense exchange with reporters, Trump insisted, I'm quoting, "I don't want to hear about affordability," arguing that inflation is the fault of former President Joe Biden. Still, Trump's advisors and his Make America Great Again base appear aware of the political risks. The White House has been spotlighting efforts to lower the cost of groceries and gas, even pointing to a recent announcement on reducing prices of certain weight loss drugs. A senior official saying Trump will now ramp up domestic travel to sell his economic message across the country. Top Trump economic advisor, meanwhile, director of the National Economic Council, saying the recent shutdown cost 60,000 non-federal jobs, drained $15 billion per week from the economy, added up to about $92 billion in total losses, and could shave 1.5 percentage points of the U.S. GDP in the December quarter. These numbers sharply contrast with the White House's public assurances that the economy remains strong and there is more pressure building on the fiscal front. The interest expense on the U.S. national debt has surged to a record $1.24 trillion over the past year, more than doubling in just 4 years. For the first time ever, the U.S. government is now paying more in interest on its debt than it spends on national defense, a shift that economists are saying underscores a rising cost of high rates and the long-term borrowing. One of the most eye-catching proposals, meanwhile, a $2,000 dividend for every American, supposedly funded by Trump's global tariff program. But the U.S. Treasury data telling a different story in a way. Customs revenues, including tariffs, totaled $179 billion from January to September, far from the trillions that Trump claims are available to distribute. And the Supreme Court is reviewing whether some of the tariffs are even legal. Trump has also floated another dramatic idea, 50-year mortgages, extending the current 30-year cap. Trump argues it would simply lower monthly payments. But critics, including some of his own supporters, warn it would also saddle homeowners with decades more interest, costing far more over a lifetime. U.S. media report senior White House staff, U.S. media reporting that senior White House staff are furious that FHFA director discussed the idea publicly before internal consultations were complete. And Trump is targeting healthcare. He wants government subsidies under Obamacare, currently paid directly to insurance companies, sent straight to Americans instead. Trump says this would let people pick their own plans instead of, in his words, funding money-sucking insurance companies, quote unquote. But there are no details yet on how such a system would work or how it would avoid destabilizing insurance markets.